Week 15, 10 questions. This is probably gonna be no, I don't know. Depends on what happens next week. This might be the Christmas edition. This is why I'm wearing the Santa hat. I might wear it next week too. Who knows? Anyway, questions again on my phone. Question number one: who's gonna beat the Patriots in the playoffs? If it had to be, I would have to think one of two teams. It would either be Seattle or Denver. Outside of that, I don't see anybody beating the Patriots. Um, Maybe Green Bay since they beat them in the regular season, but I don't see Green Bay getting by Seattle if Seattle has home field. So that's one of those three teams, if that. Question number two. Are you rooting for Johnny Manziel to be successful in the NFL? Yes. Um, I mean, he was probably one of the most dynamic players at quarterback in college football since Tim Tebow when he came out. I think he has more. I think he has better skills than Tim Tebow did when he came out. Um, although I think last week against or Cincinnati, Johnny Manziel was set up to fail. Um, because that was by far one of the most pitiful performances I've ever seen. Question number three. Are the Kansas City Chiefs ever going to get a touchdown from a wide receiver before the season's over? I don't know. I find it absolutely amazing that a Kansas City wide receiver doesn't even have one stinking touchdown this year. Um, 18 touchdowns to either Jamal Charles, another running back, or tight ends. That's pretty amazing. I think they'll get one, hopefully, maybe. I don't know. Question number four. Which is a better option, for Jim Harbaugh, not or Jim Harbaugh? Another NFL job or the Michigan job? For me, it'd probably be the Michigan job since he did so well in college, bringing Stanford back from the dead. Michigan has been down the last few years. If he goes back to college and goes to that program, I think he could bring them probably a national championship, something they have not had in like 60s, almost I think almost 70 years now. Like like a not like a they've had a co-national championship, but I'm talking about winning the whole damn thing. Um, I don't see what other maybe Chicago. That's the only I think that's the only NFL job I would think about him having since I think Trestman's gonna get fired. I think that'd be the only job that would keep him in the NFL. Other than that, he would definitely go to Michigan. Question number five. What are your thoughts on the people complaining about Tom Brady cursing on network television? Grow up, you pussies. Seriously. Whoop-de-frickin-do. I mean, I would have more of a problem with people saying Redskins than I would Tom Brady swearing. Which, by the way, speaking of, since we're talking about network TV, the FCC denied that request. So what the hell makes you think they're gonna do something about Tom Brady swearing on television? Come on, you bitches. Question number six. Who is the worst team in the league? Wow. Um, Tennessee, the Jets. By the way, Tennessee has the inside track on the number one pick, which amazes me. Tennessee, the Jets, Oakland, That's about it. The only three teams I can name. Jacksonville's not in that list anymore because Jacksonville beat Tennessee. Question number 7. Who is the best rookie wide receiver this year? Wow. Um, if I had to pick one, although he came on pretty damn late in the season, Odell Beckham Jr. I love Mike Evans. Don't get me wrong. Kelvin Benjamin, Sammy Watkins, they're all great. Odell Beckham Jr. is by far the biggest savage wide receiver I have ever seen. He makes these unbelievable catches. Him and Mike Evans are probably the two best pass catchers in the NFL. Um, like they're like this. I'm sorry, I can't even say Odell Beckham Jr. because they're all great. You can't pick just one. I mean, no, like any wide receiver you stay outside of maybe the second and second rounds and below. I mean, are all great. They're all great. I mean, I can't like any wide receiver someone says would be great. You can't go wrong with any of these wide receivers. It's been a really awesome. It ended up being a really great class for wide receivers. Question number 8, was Darelle Revis overrated when he was in New York? No. He still is one of the best 4 corners in the league. I mean, when he was in New York, he was the best corner in the league. Um, but no, he wasn't overrated. He he said what he said during the week, and he backed it up on Sunday. Um, Nothing overrated about him. Absolutely not. Question number 9. Should the Bucs take a Cutler for McCown trade? No. Well, maybe. I don't see why McCown would want to come back to Chicago. Maybe because he did better in the offense than Cutler has in the last 2 years, but that'd be kind of ridiculous if they traded Cutler for McCown. Question 10. Would the 5 years would okay. This question's wrong too, but would 5 years of mid-range NFL money be worth cutting 15 years off your life and brain issues from concussions? Uh, 5 year. I don't even know what mid-range NFL money is. What's considered mid-range NFL money this year? Let me see what that is first before I would probably say yes either way. I ain't even gonna bother looking for it, but yeah, I would definitely take the mid-range NFL money, even if it meant cutting 15 years off my life. Um, I mean, it's the money though. That money. And the bonus question this week, which kind of got cut off because someone got his hands sniped. What is the worst illness or injury you have ever had? That's what it was supposed to be, guys. The worst illness or injury I ever had. You probably can't see it, but I've had stitches because this was in 6th grade during recess. Yes, which up in Rhode Island they have elementary schools go up to 6th grade. I don't know if does that anywhere else, but at recess, we were playing two-hand touch, and someone went a little too hard on that push, and I kind of fell into a pile of rocks, and there were some pretty big rocks, and I tore up my elbow. And it was probably it was the grossest thing I've ever seen. It hurt like a mother. I had to hold my arm like this for like a week. And it was on it was my writing arm too, which kind of sucked. But with that is 10 questions this week. Questions are going to be in the description below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, refresh it and give it a second chance. If all goes to plan, I hope everybody has a happy and merry Christmas with your families and loved ones. I will see you next week, hopefully.